Thank you for joining us on Channel 5 News. Today, we will soon catch up with some of our favorite people and some of those unfavorable later tonight.
More about politics. How is the world really affecting our view on the new policy placed on the United States? Will this new problem hurt us or get us through this rough patch?
It looks like Cuba is planning to attack the United States. Will the president's decision be our victory or utter destruction? More on that later.
What we are planning to use to defend ourselves against Cuba. More on what the secret the government has in store about the United States weapon and the Manhattan Project later.
Now, back to some of the important leaders with the decision about the Bruns plan. Here's Anna with the story.
Thank you, Katrina. Last week, President Truman sent Bernard Baruch to the UN to outline his plan to the UN Atomic Energy Commission. He plans to enact controls on the type of materials used in the atomic bomb making and allow the U.S. to keep our nuclear stockpile. This plan will also prevent the Soviets from producing or testing any new nuclear weapons. Baruch has not made any announcements on the terms of his new plan and claims that he will only do so after the United States has destroyed all atomic weapons. So far, the plan has not promoted Soviet support.
Wow, Anna, this is big news. What will this mean for the United States citizens?
Hopefully, increased protection and less Soviet threat.
Wow. This just in. Foreign policy shaped by U.S. and Soviet tensions is leading to the rise of anti-communist policies in the international area. Primary topics under this discussion will be American and Soviet actions that are leading to the Cold War and significant Cold War events that are occurring in the international arena. Domestic policy being shaped by the U.S. and Soviet tensions are leading to the rise of anti-communist hysteria at home.
This cannot be good for the U.S. I mean, we are supposed to be the United States, aren't we? Doesn't feel so united to me. I have just been notified with the latest information. The United States government is setting out on the top secret task of developing the world's first atomic bomb and the first to develop nuclear weapons. The codename for building these atomic bombs was the Manhattan Project. These bombs are nicknamed Little Boy and Fat Man. Two of the most famous atomic bombs will explode over Hiroshima and Nagasaki. These atomic bombs will hopefully make Japan to surrender. This is a major achievement for the United States. The Soviet Union has heard about the United States' new technology, and they certainly don't want to be outdone. They are determined to develop their own atomic bomb as soon as they can. The Soviet Union is developing their own atomic bomb project, and it seems to have been on their minds for a while now. The Soviets have successfully conducted their own atomic weapons tests, codenamed First Lightning. As both sides continue to develop new and more powerful weapons, they fear what will happen if war would break out throughout the war.
That's very interesting. It's just in from Washington. It's official. The Soviet Union has been supplying Cuba with nuclear weapons. We just learned that Nikita Khrushchev reached a secret agreement with the communist Cuban government to supply nuclear missiles capable of protecting the island against what they claim to be another U.S. invasion. We all know Khrushchev is the leader of the Soviet Union as of right now. Our president, John F. Kennedy, is worried that if we were to attack, the Soviet Union would then use the missiles in Cuba to use U.S. territory as target practice. The tenseness in the air all over America could be cut with a pair of scissors, as it has been for the last 13 days with JFK. Will JFK pull us out of this, or will one wrong move cause our destruction? Back to you on the home front.
I've just been updated with important information about the Cold War in the international arena. But first, we should go over some things. First, we must define the term Cold War and explain its various phases. We also have to examine the Soviet and American actions that is leading to the Cold War. And we have to study the foreign events of the first phase, such as the Berlin blockade airlift, NATO, the Chinese Civil War, the Korean conflict, and the Cuban Missile Crisis. The world's two most powerful nations, the US and the USSR, are emerging as arch adversaries, and in doing so, they are shaping the post-war order. The US sees the Soviet Union as ruthless, imperialist, and a totalitarian power whose goal is to destroy democracy and encourage a global communist revolution through an aggressive policy of expansion. The USSR sees the US as a ruthless, imperialist power whose goal is to destroy communism and encourage the growth of a capitalist world order shaped by its own economic interests.
Great. Back to you, Katrina.
Alliances? How is the U.S. keeping our ties with Europe? What are the communists doing? Here's an update. Because of the Marshall Plan, West Europe and the U.S. are on good terms. Recently, 12 countries within North America and West Europe met in Washington, D.C. to sign the North Atlantic Treaty. It is primarily a security pact with Article 5 stating that a military attack against any of the seniorities would be considered an attack against them all. The original membership of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization consists of Belgium, Britain, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, and the United States. NATO formed the backbone of the West military's bulwark against the USSR, with its membership growing larger over the course of this year. On the flip side, the Soviet Union has aligned itself with communist countries such as Albania, Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, the German Democratic Republic, or East Germany, Hungary, Poland, and Romania. They are clearly against us because of the militaristic relationship we, the US, and the Soviet Union have.
Just in, Khrushchev just called off the missiles in exchange for the U.S. to never invade Cuba. Outstanding. It seems to be a great day for America, folks. We can sleep easy now that we know that the Cuban Missile Crisis is over and done with.
That's right, Anna. Now let's just try to put all this craziness behind us.
That's all for the 1 o'clock news, folks. I'm Anna.
I'm Rose.
And I'm Amanda.
I'm Katrina, and thanks for joining us on Channel 5 News.